Ha ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Ha ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa bolo kana koro Ami bhara dukhi Kripa bolo kana koro Ami bhara dukhi Daya koro sitapati Advaita Gosai Daya koro sitapati Advaita Gosai Tava kripa bole pai Caitanya nitai Tava kripa bole pai Caitanya nitai Ha ha swarup sanatan Rupa Raghunath Ha ha swarup sanatan Rupa Raghunath Bhata Yuga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanath Bhata Yuga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanath Daya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Daya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Ramachandra Sangamage Naratamadas Ramachandra Sangamage Naratamadas Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Daya Kora More Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Daya Kara More Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. We're reading the Caitanya Charitamrta this morning, Madya Lila, chapter 21, right? Text number 85 to 90, okay? This chapter is entitled about the opulence and sweetness, of Lord Sri Krishna. Kona Brahmanda Shatakoti, Kona Lakshakoti, Kona Niyuta Koti, Kona Koti Koti. Oh, okay, so on the board's 90. Okay, so I'll chant the first 80, that's 85, but then 86, Brahmanandan Nurupa Brahmana Sharira Vadana E Rupe Patpali Ame Brahmanderagana. According to the size of the universe. Oh, I didn't read that 85 yet. 85. Some of the universes are 1 billion yojanas in diameter. Some 1 trillion. Some 10 trillion. And some 100 trillion yojanas. Thus, they are almost unlimited in area. A yojana equals 8 miles. Then text 86. Brahmandanurupa Brahma Sharira Vadana E Rupe Paliyame Brahmanderagana. According to the size of the universe, there are so many heads on the body of Brahma. In this way, I maintain innumerable universes, or Brahmandas. Text 87. Eka pada vibhuti ihara nahi parimana tri pada vibhuti ra keba kari parimana. No one can measure the length and breadth of the 1/4 of my energy manifested in the material world. Who then can measure the 3/4 that is manifested in the spiritual world? 88. Tasya pare parivyoma Tripad Bhutama Sanatanam Amritam Shasvatam Nitya Anantam Paramam Padam. Beyond the river Viraja is the spiritual nature, which is indestructible, eternal, inexhaustible, and unlimited. It is the supreme abode, consisting of 3/4 of the Lord's opulences. It is known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. 89. Purport. This is a verse from Padma Purana, quoted here by Lord Krishna. Tabe Krishna Brahmare Dilena Vidaya Krishnara Vibhuti Swarupa Jana Yaya. In this way, Lord Krishna bade farewell to the four-headed Brahma of this universe. We can thus understand that no one can calculate the extent of Krishna's energies. Now we're going to read the verse on the board, text number 90. Please repeat. Trayadishvara Shabdera Artha Guda Ara Haya Tri Shabde Krishnera Tina Loka Kaya Trayadishvara Shabdera Artha Guda Arahaya Tri Shabde Krishnera Tina Lokakaya Trayadishvara Shabdera Artha Guda Arahaya Tri Shabde Krishnera Tina Lokakaya Trayadishvara Shabdera Artha Guda Arahaya Tri Shabde Krishnera Tina Lokakaya Triyadishvara Shabdera. Of the word Triyadishvara. Artha, a meaning. Gudha, confidential. Ara, another. Haya, there is. Tri Shabde, by the word three. Krishnera, of Krishna. Tina Lokakaya, the three places of properties of Lord Krishna. there is a very deep meaning in the word Tri Adishwara, which indicates that Krishna possesses 3 different lokas or natures. You can repeat. There is a very deep meaning in the word Tri Adishwara, which indicates that Krishna possesses 3 different lokas or natures. Purport. The word Triadishwara means proprietor of the 3 worlds. There are 3 worlds, and Krishna is the supreme proprietor of them all. This is explained by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 5:29. Bhoktaram yagnatapasham sarva loka maheshwaram suridam sarva bhutanam gyadva mam shantim richati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. The word Sarvaloka means all 3 worlds, and the word Maheshwara means the supreme proprietor. Krishna is the proprietor of both the material and the spiritual world. The spiritual world is divided into 2 portions, Goloka Vrindavan and the Vaikunthas. The material world is a combination of universes, unlimited in number. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Guru Shri Caitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Anvitam Tam Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Nitamscha Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Sarasati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author of this book, is describing in this chapter about an incident when Lord Brahma went to Dwarka to visit Lord Krishna. Right? Lord Krishna was living in Dwarka. And Lord Brahma came to visit him. So, the doorman, Lord Krishna, before he could go and see Lord Krishna, he had to meet with Lord Krishna's doorman, or maybe like a secretary or something. So his doorman went to tell Lord Krishna that Lord Brahma is here to see him. And Lord Krishna said, ask him which Brahma, or ask him what his name is. Which Brahma is it who wants to see me? So the doorman went to see Lord Brahma and said, Lord Krishna wants to know which Brahma you are. He wants to know your name. So Brahma was surprised. It was a shock to him, because Brahma was thinking he was the only Brahma. So anyway, Lord Brahma thought for a minute, and then he replied, tell him, four-headed Brahma, the father of the four Kumaras, has come to see him. So the doorman went to tell Lord Krishna, four-headed Brahma is here. He's the father of the four Kumaras, and he wants to see you. So Lord Krishna said, bring him in. So Lord Brahma came in and offered his obeisances to Lord Krishna. And when he got up, Lord Krishna asked him, said, yes, what can I do for you? What is it? Why have you come here to see me? And Lord Brahma said, yes, I will tell you, but first I want to ask you a question. And he said, you asked which Brahma I was. Does that mean there are other Brahmas beside me? So Lord Krishna meditated just for a moment, and immediately many, many other Brahmas all appeared in the room. And the Brahmas who appeared all had many, many heads. Lord Brahma in our universe is Chaturmukh Brahma, meaning four-headed Brahma. Four heads. But the other Brahmas who came had many, many heads. Some of them had hundreds of heads. It's hard to imagine, right? But we're told like this, that the Brahmas who came, and not only Brahmas came, but Shivas also came. Many different Shivas also came. And they were all very respectful to Lord Krishna. So it was a humiliating experience for Brahma, because Brahma didn't know. Jai Nrsinga Bhagwan ki. Brahma didn't know that there were so many other Brahmas. And he saw they were all having so many more heads than he had. And Lord Krishna explained to Brahma, you only have four heads because your universe is the smallest in the material world. In the whole material creation, your universe is very small. So you only have four heads. But you can see the other Brahmas, they have many, many heads. Meaning their universe is much greater than Brahma's universe. So it was quite a humiliating experience for Brahma. It made him humble. So that's very important, that Lord Krishna doesn't like to see his devotees proud. And if a devotee becomes proud, Lord Krishna will arrange to make them humble. And you can see even the gopis. Lord Krishna dealt with the gopis in that way. That Lord Krishna was dancing the Rasa Lila with the gopis, and they were becoming proud. Each gopi was thinking, Krishna is dancing with me. And Lord Krishna understood their minds, so then Lord Krishna disappeared from them. And then the gopis were frantic that where did Krishna go? Where's he gone? And Srimad Bhagavatam describes how the gopis were going everywhere. And they were asking even the trees and the different animals and the birds, did you see Lord Krishna? Can you tell us where he's gone? So in this way, Lord Krishna made the gopis humble. But then the gopis saw the footprints, and they saw Lord Krishna's footprints with another set of footprints, the footprints of a young lady. And the gopis understood, oh, this lady is more fortunate than us. She's with Lord Krishna. She must be the favorite of Krishna more than us. But then they saw there was only one set of footprints. And they and the one set of footprints, the impression on the ground had become heavier. They understood, oh, he must have been, he's picked her up, he's carrying her. And it had happened like that, right? That Radharani had said to Krishna that I cannot walk any further, you have to carry me. And so Lord Krishna took her on his back for a minute, but then he understood that this is not good, this is her pride. And then he disappeared from her also. So then the gopis came and they found Radharani and she was on her own and Krishna had left her. So Lord Krishna does these things to make people humble. Even the gopis can become a little proud and Lord Krishna will correct that pride. Right? One of the 6 qualities of surrender to Krishna is humility, to be always meek and humble. So Lord Krishna arranged for the humility, for Lord Brahma to correct his mentality, that he shouldn't think of himself as being very great and important, but he should understand there are many, many Brahmas, and they were much more powerful, much greater than he was. So it made him insignificant. And that was a humbling experience for him. Lord Brahma is the first living entity in the universe. And we can read in the 2nd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam how Narada Muni, who is one of the sons of Brahma, he has come to see Lord Brahma and he is asking Lord Brahma about the creation and about the material universe. And Lord Brahma, he has to explain to his son Narada that he is not the supreme. Narada was also thinking that Brahma was the supreme in the universe. We were telling the other day about Yamaraj. Yamaraj's servants, the Yamadutas, they thought Yamaraj was supreme. They thought Yamaraj was all-powerful. And here we have Brahma. People like Narada Muni, who's his son, they think Brahma is all-powerful. He's very great. He must be all-powerful. But actually, of course, Brahma is not all-powerful. And Brahma has to explain to his son Narada that there's a Supreme Personality over everyone. So Lord Krishna was explaining to Brahma, and he showed to Brahma so many different Brahmas and Shivas. They all appeared to Lord Brahma, to our four-headed Brahma. Although they all appeared, Brahma was the only one who could see them. Lord Krishna arranged for it by his Yogamaya potency. They didn't see each other. Anyway, we're told about the sizes of the different universes, how they're some of them are trillions of miles in size. Means they're almost unlimited. Trillion, right? You have millions, and then billions, and then trillions. So these universes are, some are 1 billion in diameter, and then some are 1 trillion in diameter, and some are 10 trillion, and others are even 100 trillion. We cannot imagine how big each universe is. And that's yojanas. And 1 yojana is 8 miles. So just try to imagine something about the infinite size of the universe. So Lord Krishna was explaining like that. And according to the size of the universe, then Brahma has the appropriate number of heads. The bigger the universe, the more heads he has. Because he has to see everywhere, he has to look over everything. So Lord Krishna, he arranges the position. We have to understand, Brahma, the position of Brahma is a jiva. He's a living entity. And we have also been Brahmas. Some people say that when we take birth, when we come into the material world, from the spiritual world, we come into the material world, we may take our first birth as a Lord Brahma. We may be born from the lotus flower. And we may have many heads also. So maybe in the past, we have been Lord Brahmas. Of course, now we're ordinary living entities, common people. But in the past, we could have been Brahmas. It's a position given to a pious living entity. Somebody coming from the spiritual world into the material world. They may come in at the very top. So at the very top, the topmost position in the universe is that of Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma, he has the job to help Lord Krishna to maintain. And each Brahma is there in each universe, and they have to maintain their different universes. That's their service to the Lord. And we're told about the size of these material universes, this material creation. In each universe, there's a material creation. And the material creation is 1/4 compared to the spiritual world. The material creation is 1/4. The spiritual world, therefore, is 3/4. So they say, Tripad Vibhuti. The spiritual world is Tripad, 3/4. And the material world is Ekapad Vibhuti, 1/4. So how big is the spiritual world? Try to understand. If the material world is so unlimited that no one can measure the length and breadth of it, then the spiritual world is 3 times greater than the material creation. So then definitely we have no hope of understanding about the spiritual sky. And then we're told that there's a river called the Viraja. And that Viraja is a spiritual river. We're told it is indestructible, eternal, inexhaustible, and unlimited. Oh, so the river Viraja is separating the material and the spiritual world. To go through into the spiritual world, you have to cross that Viraja river. The spiritual world is indestructible, eternal. And it is called Paravyoma, or the spiritual sky. And in the spiritual sky, there's the Vaikuntha planets, and there is also Goloka Vrindavan, the supreme abode of the Lord, Goloka Vrindavan. So in this way we're told Lord Krishna said goodbye to Lord Brahma. And we're told no one can understand, no one can calculate the extent of Lord Krishna's energies. Even four-headed Brahma, he cannot begin to understand the extent of Lord Krishna's energies. So we're told then that Krishna possesses three different natures, or three different lokas, three different natures. And Prabhupada quotes a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, which we call the peace formula. It's the last verse in the 5th chapter, that Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor. He is not only the proprietor of the material world, but he is also proprietor of the spiritual world. So he's the proprietor of three worlds. There's the material world, then there's Goloka Vrindavan and Vaikuntha. Right? The spiritual world is in two portions, and the material world is a combination of universes, unlimited in number. So in this way we understand Lord Krishna's opulence, how opulent he is. Lord Krishna, of course, was residing in Dwarka, and he had taken wives. He didn't just have a few wives. He had 16,108 wives. It's a pastime, you see. There were these young girls, young ladies, 16,100. They had all been kidnapped by one demon, Banasur. And so Lord Krishna was asked to help them. They were in great distress. So Lord Krishna went there and he killed this demon Banasura, and he freed the young ladies who'd all been held prisoner. So the young ladies, they had nowhere to go because they'd been taken by this demon Banasura. So their chastity was gone because they'd been taken by another man. So they had nowhere to go. So they all begged Lord Krishna to give them shelter. So Lord Krishna accepted all of them as his wives. Not a problem for Lord Krishna. You know, for an ordinary man to maintain one wife or two wives was not very easy. But here you see Lord Krishna maintaining 16,108 wives. And each wife had a palace to live in, and servants. So each wife was properly taken care of, and they were kept very happy and satisfied. Lord Krishna could expand himself to be with each of his wives. This is the opulence of Dwarka. Lord Krishna is enjoying unlimitedly. You know, and we have no understanding of the opulence. How great is the opulence of Lord Krishna? Just like an ordinary man, a great man in the material world, you know, what, Bill Gates, somebody like that, you know, some rich man, you know, he owns the Microsoft company, so he's quite a rich man. But, you know, how much does he have? What property? He owns one tiny island, near to Thailand. He purchased one island, little island. You know, Lord Krishna owns the whole creation. It's all his. And, you know, this one man like Bill Gates, and because he's a rich man, he's got a big reputation. He buys one island, one little island. You know, so much for his wealth. His wealth is limited. Someone may be like the Queen. In the past there was the Queen of England. She's passed away now. She's dead. But the Queen of England, the royal throne, they have a crown for the Queen of England. They have a crown, and they got the jewels. The jewels were actually taken from India. Precious gems and so on. They're all put into this crown, and that one crown goes on the head of the ruler who sits on the throne in England. One crown. Lord Krishna had 16,108 queens, and each queen had a crown more opulent than the Queen of England's crown. You cannot begin to compare the opulence. What people have some opulence in this material world, we're thinking someone's very rich or someone's very powerful. They're insignificant compared to the opulence of Lord Krishna. We cannot begin to understand how great is Lord Krishna. This is why he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That he possesses all opulences, greater than anybody else. No one is equal to, or nobody can be greater than Lord Krishna in any of the opulences. And the opulences are described by Parasara Muni, and he lists the 6 opulences: wealth, beauty, fame, knowledge, strength, and renunciation. These are the 6 opulences of Lord Krishna, and no one can equal him in any of these different opulences. So Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor. It's all his property. In the material world, you know, we struggle to acquire a little piece of land. We get a little piece of land, put our house there, you know. But Lord Krishna, he owns the whole creation. Not just one planet, but all the planets in the creation. They're all his. So we cannot begin to understand the extent of his opulence. And Lord Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka, Krishnadas Kaviraj says, Krishna is perfect in Dwarka, but he is more perfect in Mathura, and he is most perfect in Vrindavan. So this is sometimes not understood, you know. As we're hearing about the opulence of Dwarka, we think, oh, well, when he's in Vrindavan, he must be poor. because Vrindavan's just a village, and the people there are just villagers, just farmers. They have some cows and like that. So when he's in Vrindavan, he must be poor, we may think. But we should understand the opulence of Vrindavan. And it was discussed, it's in the Caitanya Caritamrta, there's a conversation between Srivas Pandit and Swarup Damodar. So they were both there in the association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it was the day of Hera Panchami. Hera Panchami is the 5th day of the Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra goes on for 9 days, actually. There's the 1 day to pull the chariot to Gundicha, and then the deities stay at Gundicha 7 days, and then 1 day to come back. So it's 9 days. So Hera Panchami is a festival where the goddess of fortune comes out because she's anxious. Because Lord Jagannath had gone away and he hadn't come home for several days. If you're a married woman, your husband doesn't come home for several days, you'll be worried, right? Where's he gone? What's happening? At least you should be worried. Other women may be glad. But anyway, the goddess of fortune was worried. Her husband is Lord Jagannath. And she wants to know why he's not come back. So she comes with her soldiers and they go to Gundicha. And they go down to Gundicha and they arrest the servants of Jagannath. And they get them bowing down to the goddess of fortune. And so Srivas Pandit was watching. Now Srivas Pandit, what's his identity? Srivas Pandit is the expansion of Narada Muni. Yes, in the Panchatattva, Srivas Pandit is the marginal potency of the Lord. And he is the expansion of Narada Muni. So, Narada Muni is a Vaikuntha man. He's always chanting the name Narayan, Narayan. So, he sees the opulence of the goddess of fortune and he says, oh, look at the opulence of the goddess of fortune. She's so powerful. She's so great. And Swarup Damodar is listening. Now Swarup Damodar, who is he? What's his identity in Krishna Lila? He is the Gopi Lalita. Right? And he hears Srivas Pandit glorify the goddess of fortune. And Swarup Damodar said, you do not know the opulence of Vrindavan. You are thinking the goddess of fortune to be opulent, but you don't know the opulence of Vrindavan. And Srivas is thinking, what? Vrindavan? Vrindavan, just a village. Just cowherd people there, There's no real opulence. Where is the opulence in Vrindavan? But Swarup Damodar told him, you don't understand. Every cow in Vrindavan is a Kamadhenu cow. It can fulfill all desires. Everything you want. And every tree in the holy Dham, in Vrindavan Dham, every tree is a Kalpabriksha tree. They're not ordinary trees and cows. They can fulfill all your desires. Every tree, you think, oh, we have an apple tree, oh, we have a pear tree or cherry tree. But in Vrindavan, Kalpabriksha tree, you get all varieties of fruits growing from one tree. All the varieties of fruits are growing on one tree, and they're growing at all the year. We have to wait for the season to come for the fruits. But in Vrindavan, the Kalpabriksha trees, you get all variety of fruits. from the one Kalpabriksha tree. And the cows, the Kamadhenu cows, they can produce everything. There was you can read in Ramayana how Vashishta had the one cow, and Vishwamitra, as a Kshatriya, before he became a great sage, he was a Kshatriya. He came to visit Vashishta's ashram, and he came with all of his army. And Vashishta said, "Oh, no problem, I can take care of all of you." And Vashishta, from his one cow, he produced unlimited quantities of food for all of the army. Not only did he produce quantities of food, he produced beautiful women also to give comfort to all of the soldiers. And Vishwamitra was, "Wow, this is amazing. I have to have a cow like this." And he wanted to get Vashishta's cow, and they had a great fight and tried to take the cow, but he could not defeat Vashishta. So one cow can provide unlimited quantities of food and resources, everything you can desire. But the people of Vrindavan are so pure, they don't want anything except they want some milk from the cow, and they want some fruit and flowers from the trees. And they will use these to worship Lord Krishna. They have no material desires. And not only the trees and the cows are opulent, every speck of dust in the dam, the dust in the dam is Chintamani. Chintamani can fulfill all of our desires, right? You get precious stones, emeralds, different jewels, diamonds, rubies, these things, but they're nothing compared to the Chintamani stone. And in Vrindavan, all the dust of the dam is Chintamani. So this is the opulence of Vrindavan. So much more opulent than Dwarka or any other place in the material world. Of course, Dwarka is not in the material world. So Lord Krishna, anyway, he's enjoying a different mood in Vrindavan. In Dwarka and in Vrindavan, different mood. Dwarka is the place of Aishwarya, opulence. But Vrindavan is Madhurya, the place of sweetness. Very sweet. So Lord Krishna, he enjoys himself. And he goes to Dwarka, he spends some time, but when he's in Dwarka, he's always thinking about Vrindavan. And he comes back and visits Vrindavan. So in this way, Lord Krishna was describing the opulence. He was showing Lord Brahma how he is insignificant. His position is nothing. Just like Prabhupada, there was this one devotee, he was in charge of the temple, and he was very bossy, telling everybody what to do, and he was very passionate kind of man, manager, big manager. He was in charge, and so Prabhupada started to talk to him, and he told him, he said, this whole material world is 1/4 compared to the spiritual world. And in this material world, there are an unlimited number of universes. And in each universe, there's an unlimited number of planets. And in this one universe, there's one planet, Earth. Remember, we are a tiny universe. And Earth is a tiny planet in the universe. And on this planet Earth, there's one tiny country called USA. There was a temple in the USA, you know. And he said, in this USA, there are many, many cities, many towns and cities. And there's one city there called Los Angeles. And in Los Angeles, there are many, many roads, many streets. There's one street called Watseka Avenue. And that Watseka Avenue is a big, long road. There's many, many houses on the Watseka Avenue. And there's we have one center here on this one house, 3764 Watseka Avenue. Right? There's so many roads, so many streets. This is the one house, Watseka Avenue. And in this Watseka Avenue, there are many people. And this one man who's the manager, he thinks he's the Lord of the universe. Try to understand how foolish we are. Because the false ego influences us so much. We think, I am the Lord of the universe. I am the supreme controller. But we're so insignificant. Okay, any questions? Yes, Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu?
You. It is here clearly stated and without compromise that we are living in the smallest universe. And my question is because it's very difficult for me to understand this, because there are kind of unlimited universes and it could be any. It could be the 20th, it could be the 20 millionth, it could be any. But how possible is it that factually, really, we are living exactly in this one, which is the tiniest?
We can understand this universe to be the smallest, the tiniest, because Brahma has only 4 heads. Lord Krishna had explained how there's many, many Brahmas, and they all have many, many heads. But our universe, Brahma has only 4 heads. So that's why we can understand we're in the tiniest, the smallest universe. From that. Yes. Some other question.
Prabhu, as Krishna is the Lord of all 3 worlds, then why does Krishna choose to perform simple human-like pastimes in Vrindavan when he is the Lord of the all 3 worlds?
Why does Krishna perform human-like pastimes?
Yes, in Vrindavan.
For the pleasure of his devotees. The Lord comes in Bhagavad Gita, is described by why the Lord comes in this world. Paritranaya sadhunam vinaschaya chaduskritam. Dharma samstarpanartaya. Yes, so the Lord is coming to give pleasure to his devotee. He can kill the demons. He doesn't need to come to kill the demons. He can do that easily. Just give everybody a heart attack, right? He's in everyone's heart. So anytime he can take the demons out, give them a heart attack. But he comes, Dharma samstarpanartaya, to re-establish Dharma. Dharma had been lost, so he has to re-establish Dharma. And he does that by speaking Bhagavad Gita and other things, like Uddhava Gita, Gopi Gita, these different things. He's doing he's teaching us Dharma, and he's also, his main business in coming to this world is to give pleasure to his devotees. The devotees who are in this world, they're feeling the separation, they're longing for the association of the Lord. So Lord Krishna comes to fulfill their desires. That's his mission. Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I wanted to know about Dwarka, because they recently found some city on the water, under the water, near the present Dwarka. Is this city under the water was the city of Krishna?
Yes. When you see, Lord Krishna had been in the world for 125 years, and then it came time for Krishna. He'd finished his mission. The demons had all been killed, and the Kshatriyas were overburdening. They'd all been killed, and his mission was accomplished. He'd spoke the Bhagavad Gita and everything, so he was ready to go back to the spiritual sky. So to depart from the world, he arranged that all the Yadu dynasty who had all come there to be with him, that they all fought with each other and they killed each other. Because they were very powerful, nobody could fight them, so they fought with each other and they killed each other. And in this way, they had all been living there in Dwarka, but they were all killed. And then Lord Krishna himself, he departed from this world also. So at the time of his departure from this world, he arranged that the city of Dwarka would go under the water. It would go into the sea. So yes, some things are there in the sea, but generally the whole manifestation, because there were 16,108 palaces, so there was a lot. There were a huge population was living there in Dwarka, but it was all manifested by Lord Krishna's potency. And then when he disappeared, then he made it also disappear. The whole Dwarka, it was a whole island, a huge island, and it all vanished. And some of it, of course, is there in the bottom of the sea. They say like that. You can find some ruins of things there in the sea today. Yes?
So in the mentioned three worlds, we also mention one material world as one of the three worlds. So when this material world included among the Krishna's three lokas, when it is temporary, why it is included in the part of the three worlds?
Well, it's temporary, but it's created and annihilated again and again. You see, it appears, and then there's a destruction, but then again, just like at the end of the day comes the night, but after the night, then it's another day. So there's another, after the annihilation of the material world, there's another world created again. Again and again it comes. The material energy is also eternal. Sometimes it's manifest, sometimes it's not. And so when there's destruction, it's not manifest, but then it's created again. It comes again. Because the material energy is eternal. It's Krishna's energy. Just like marble is here on the floor. The marble is eternal. The building is not eternal. In course of time, the building may all be broken down, fall apart, but the marble will exist in some other form. So the same with material energy. The material world is created, it's manifest, and then it's destroyed, and then after some time, then it's created again. Again and again the day comes, and again the night falls. You have to understand the nature of material creation, that the material energy is eternal. Sometimes it's manifest, and sometimes it's not. But it's always there.
One more follow-up question, Maharaj. Then if we want to, if we are staying in any one of these three lokas, then what is the difference between living in one of the loka, Krishna's world, or living for Krishna?
Well, Krishna's world or?
Living for Krishna.
Living for Krishna. Well, if you're living for Krishna, then that's okay. You're in the Krishna's world if you're living for Krishna. Just like wherever you are, that can be the holy land. It can be, you make it a holy place. If you're living for Krishna, if you're serving Krishna, then wherever you are, it's a holy place.
Maharaj, I have a question. I was thinking a long time about. It is said that the spiritual world, the material world, is 1/4 of the of the creation, and the spiritual world is 3/4. But it is also said that the spiritual energy is beyond time and space. So the spiritual world is actually unlimited.
Yes, the spiritual world is unlimited, but we are given this information that we have to take. This is some shastric information that the spiritual sky is called Tripad Vibhuti, and the material world is Ekapad Vibhuti. So comparison is there between the spiritual world and the material world. 3, 4. We cannot measure them because they're infinite, but somehow they've been given, this comparison has been made between the two, just to help us understand the inconceivable nature of the spiritual world. We may worry, maybe if I go back to Godhead, maybe there'll be overpopulation there. But the spiritual world is so vast, it's so huge. There's no problem for unlimited numbers of living entities.
Thank you, Maharaj. I have a follow-up question to this, because in the spiritual world there is no kind of limit, and there are not too many devotees. But similarly, our temples, they're also they're actually the spiritual world. But in the temples, sometimes we have this problem. We say we don't have enough space. We cannot allow you to come here. You cannot reside here because we don't have a room for you. So how do we understand this? How do we correct this? How do we explain this to others?
Well, we actually, it's wrong to say we don't have space for you. We have everybody's. We can make space for everyone. And the devotees were telling me how they came here from the Middle East. 60 people. They didn't have rooms for everybody, but still everyone stayed. So it's actually wrong to think you don't have room. There's so much space for everyone. You can put a lot of people here. We've got a lot of space, a lot of room. You can't but to turn people, maybe you don't have the facilities they want. Some people have, no, I have to have my own room, I have to have this, I have to have that. Oh, okay, problem. We don't have all that for you. But if people are more open-minded and they're willing to accept any conditions, then there's space. There's always space. When we joined the Krishna consciousness movement, in the 1970s, early 70s, people were joining a lot, and more people were coming. Our temple was really packed. It was that you saw that very place. It's not very big, but we were like about 100 people living in there. I don't know how we all did it, but we all lived together. Yes? Any other questions? Yes, when you're in the spiritual world, you'll only think of the spiritual world. You won't think about the material world. When you go back to Godhead, you won't think about this place. This is like the bad dream. You see? The real life is there in the spiritual world. So we'll be happy there. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki. Go back to Vrinda ki.
Jai. Yeah. You are in Telegram?